terve. That's have a good day, and it's really nice to see you in Finnish. Finnish is really efficient language, and we tend to keep things really short. I'm here to talk with you about licensing, and since licensing is not really that sexy topic, I will mix that up with the services. So that's a bit more for you today. About myself, there are two things in security that I try to bring out more and more. And the first one is that if the audience doesn't understand what you are saying, all the information is futile. And obviously it's about you. If you don't understand what I'm saying, there is nothing for you. But also when I'm or you are talking with the customers, it's really important that the customers actually understand what you are saying. And it's important in the IT field, and it's really important in security field. It's not possible to sell any services if the customer doesn't understand what you are selling to them. And also, the second point is that it doesn't matter how fancy one single technology is if it doesn't serve the bigger picture. And I'm from a company called FRENDY. FRENDY is a quite new company. It was founded by 12 smaller IT companies here in Finland, which then merged and formed FRENDY. And we try to service the smaller size customers here in Finland from 10 to 500 seats. And I'm saying this so that you get the reference about what I'm speaking about with the licensing and services and stuff like that. And we employ some now bit than less 400 employees here in Finland and work in 20 different locations all across the Finland. And we offer all kinds of services. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you have some small things, you need to serve the bigger picture. And this is important, especially in the smaller companies, because there is no point for a small company to buy things from different vendors. It's always better to have everything from one service provider. Of course, as a service provider, it's nice for me to say that, and we of course want to serve everything we have to all companies we are serving. But if you think about that, the responsibility lines are the ones where all the problems are in the IT industry. And this goes with the security also. So, what is the usage-based security licensing model, what the WithSecure brought up a few years ago? The traditional way of licensing is the yearly licenses, and then the old BSB model. And the old BSB model was that you get the pricing per customer sites. So each license costs different for each customer. And you need to pay for the licensing that's allocated for different clients. And the new model goes that you pay for the licenses that the customer is actually using. So if the servers or laptops or mobile phones are offline, the customer is not paying for those, and neither are you, obviously. The main point also is that the cost of the license is per partner, not per customer. So you will pay, say, amount of money for each license, nevertheless, what the size of the customer actually is. Everything is based on the points, and the partner gets some price for each point. And more you have it, the less it will cost. So there are steps for that. I'm not going to any dirty details about that. You have your own salespersons to go that through, but that's the main frame about the usage-based security that we are talking about. It might prefer smaller customers because usually customers and partners are comparing the prices for the older models. And if you have one price for each point, it's more beneficiary to wake them up about the smaller license pricing. And it might be problematic with larger or non-profit customers. If you only think about the money and only think about the price of the license. And that was my initial thought when I first heard about the usage-based security model. How can we serve the bigger customers? What if we are 10 cents more expensive than the competitor are? But I found out that it doesn't matter. Because more flexible the licensing is, it gives you a better foundation to bring more flexible services for the customers. And if you are offering services for the customers, it really doesn't matter what the licenses are actually costing. Well, you cannot be the most expensive player in the field, or you can, but you need to keep your story good. But in licensing world, it's not good to sell apples. Because if you are selling apples, there will always be cheaper apples on the market. And if you say to customers, please buy our apple, and the customer asks why I'm paying more for your apple, your competition is selling this 10 cents less. It's hard to say, but my apple is more red. Stop sell apples. Sell services. Sell everything. And what I'm meaning about that is give you a few examples about how we have built up our services. Maybe give you some thought about how you could benefit from the licensing model that is new for the WithSecure. If you think about the security, there are lots of thoughts, of course, in this event about security. My saying is that you need to offer whole security or no security at all. And why is this? Like I said, you need to think about the bigger picture. And the old chain analogy is old, but it's good here. If you have weak links in your chain, you have separated links, you don't have strong chain. So you need to have the big picture in IT security. And there is a poem about this. It might be from Japan, it might be from 17th century, about I did not click links. 100 flowed past my view, but one was enough. And this means that criminals need to win only one battle, and then the customer is lost. But when you are thinking about the security, you need to win all the battles. And that's not really fair, but hey, that's the world. Or like we heard previously about the balls, there will always be the faster or meaner ball. You cannot avoid them all. So the benefits for you to selling the whole stack, which the UBS then makes possible, is that you can have the strategic pricing with the UBS. You are not bound for the license cost per customer. You can create your own models for things, because you will pay the same amount of money for WithSecure nevertheless, so there is more flexibility for you to wake up the customers. And that brings the flexibility for that. You can add your own services on top of that, maybe SOC or 24/7 things like we heard previously, but bring your own services in top of the WithSecure element stack. And that is better than send only for the apples. So what that means, if it's a bit unclear. Here's a picture which I'm selling or using most when I'm talking with our customers. Because the customers are used to buy apples. So they think that you are trying to sell apples to them. And if there is a CEO or financial officer on the desk, he or she will think about the pricing. And always when you are bringing up the new security services, they are asking how much this will cost, or if there is anything that we can leave out to save some money. So this is a good picture about that. And why I'm using is saying that, okay, we have our own service, and it includes everything what's in this picture. And if you want, we can opt out something. Just point out what you want to opt out. On the blue, there is a threat, what they're facing for the customer. And on the orange or red or brown, really depends on the color calibration, is technologies which are defending those vectors. And using this picture is easy to point out, okay, I want to save some money, I want to opt out the mobile protection. Okay, are you sure? Because there are lots of SMS stuff, scams, phishing things going through. Are you really sure you want to opt that out? Maybe not. Okay, I want to opt out collaboration protection. That's a really good choice. More than half of the attacks are against your email. Are you sure you want to opt that out? No, I do not. Exactly. So it's good to explain to the customer why there is need to have everything in security. Because, like I said previously, there is no reason for the customer for not buying everything. It's just about talking which costs which. And if we are talking about the bigger corporations, I said earlier that the new pricing model might be difficult in the bigger companies. But if you think about the cost of the license, if the company is changing, 50 or 100 million euros a year, it really doesn't matter if the one license will cost 10 cents or 20 cents more or less. It's about the bigger picture, and it's about the services. And the WithSecure Elements serves this picture really well, because the Elements covers everything. You can have all these components from the WithSecure Elements. And what we prefer is take everything and then add our own service on top of that. And this is the main service that we are offering for our customers. This is where we start speaking. You want security, this is our security, it covers everything. Thank you. This is a brief story about the licensing and brief story about the services that we have brought up using these new licensing models, and it really has worked well for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tomas. Now, as said, we have time for one audience question, so if you're quick and you raise your hand, here's your opportunity to ask him directly. There we go, here in the front. We will have a microphone brought to you.
So on the usage-based security, what was one thing you wish you knew before starting it? Was there any kind of concern before taking on usage-based security that, looking back, you wish you would have known and then would have made the choice sooner?
I guess it's the licensing steps. There are some steps about the pricing, how it will develop on the time, and when you are gaining more momentum, how it will actually play it up. And of course, like I said, about how this will serve the big customers. That was the main problem. But it's not the only way. You can use the usage-based security and use the old BSP model and use the old yearly licensing if you want. So you can have them all, but this just gives the flexibility, and of course the volume is where you should be having everything. But if there is some really grand customer, you can use different licensing model for that customer.
Great. Thank you so much. Let's give him another round of applause.
Thank you.